Hello, my name's Martin Hinshelwood. I'm here with Daniel Vacanti, who was one of the original contributors on the Kanban method and the co-creator of the Kanban guide for Scrum teams and the Professional Scrum with Kanban class. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Great to see you, Martin. Great to be here.
Cool. I had obviously we're all stuck in our homes for the foreseeable future at the moment. I don't think there's anywhere now that's just you can just go run around. And I hear you're a lover of tennis. A little birdie called Scott let me know, and he was wondering how you were coping without tennis.
Believe it or not, pretty well. I think the harder thing is that there's no tennis to watch. They've postponed the whole tennis season until at least June, and the decision about Wimbledon was supposed to come out today. I didn't see. Did that get published yet? I have to go check. But as we were chatting before, there's actually I've got some neighborhood courts down here, and as long as I'm allowed out once a day to go exercise, and as long as I practice proper social distancing, then I'm actually coping not too bad. Probably better than many people. So, but thanks for asking. Well, I don't know. What about you in Glasgow? I mean, it's cold and it's rainy, so you probably want to be inside anyway.
It's
right?
actually it's not been too bad. It's been 6 or 7 degrees, so we've been out sunbathing in the front garden. It's actually been okay. It's been a bit cloudy the last couple of days, but there's been some sunshine, so we've been running out to sit in the garden when it's sunny, because it's nice and warm in the sun, but then the sun goes away and temperature drops quite significantly. But yeah, we're able to go out for walks as long as there's not too many people in one place. So it's been pretty good. But we've been getting kind of daily notifications of what's going on. I'm sure the same as yourself, although your briefings are a little bit more interesting than ours. But yeah, so you and I will be co-teaching a Kanban class. We're going to teach a professional Scrum with Kanban as a live virtual classroom on the 18th and 19th of May in Edinburgh. Can you tell us a little bit about the class?
Yeah, it's.
You'd think I'd be ready with a stock answer for that, right? But it's really about those people who've been practicing Scrum for a while, and for whatever reason haven't gotten everything that they want to out of Scrum, or maybe just want to take their Scrum skills to the next level or whatever. It's really about introducing the concept of flow to solve some of those problems that you may or may not see with scrums. Things like, hey, we're terrible at estimating, and we can never figure out how much stuff we're going to get done in the sprint. Or our product owner hates us because we can't ever tell our product owner when something's going to be done. Or at the end of the sprint, there's always this mad dash because we've taken on too much work and we can never get it done. How does managing for flow help to solve maybe some of those common problems that you see in several Scrum teams?
Cool. So how does that differ from the Kanban method?
It differs. It does and it doesn't differ quite a bit in several respects. Probably the biggest difference is the beauty of the professional Scrum with Kanban approach is
Scrum itself still applies in its entirety. So if you're doing Scrum, it's pretty easy to pile on a professional Scrum with Kanban, to pile on this Kanban stuff. So if you go take a look at the Professional Scrum with Kanban guide, for example, it's less than 10 pages, I think. I want to say it's 8, 9, 10 pages anyway, right in there. And the reason for that, the reason we're able to keep it so short, so condensed is that we've got the Scrum guide,
as our foundation, as our base. So if you go, depending on which other Kanban guide you look at, and we won't necessarily get into that too much, but there's a Kanban, a condensed Kanban guide that is 90 some pages or 100 some pages or whatever, which doesn't sound too condensed to me or whatever.
No, that sounds like it's very big.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest difference is we have Scrum as our foundation. We embrace everything that Scrum does. We're not changing anything in Scrum. We're not throwing anything out. We're not doing any of that. Take your existing Scrum implementation, just kind of bolt on or overlay some of these practices on top, and you're good to go.
Cool. So there's a couple of people hearing a little bit of feedback. I've ordered a set of headphones from upstairs. I hear they might be on their way. But what I'll do is at the moment I'll mute myself when you're speaking, Dan, and then maybe that will help.
Where do I get that mute button for real life? How do I do that whenever we're just talking?
There is no mute button for me personally. My wife has tried, but it doesn't work. Usually she ends up just throwing the remote control at me for sure. But yeah. So I'm wondering if any of the folks that are listening online have any questions as well. Let me have a look. I got a different headphones than I was expecting. It's okay. So I guess have you thought about the tools that we're going to use while we're teaching this class?
The short answer is no. The longer answer is no. We've been having several conversations over the past week or so, because obviously all of us have been thrown a bit of a curveball here, if I can say that. That's kind of a baseball American
No,
thing,
we tend to use the same. We have the same expression in cricket as well.
Okay, it's a googly or something.
Yeah, a proper sport.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been forced to adapt, and so a lot of us have gotten together and talk about, well, what does a virtual PSK really look like? And because it is, fortunately or unfortunately, the class itself is designed to be very interactive, very hands-on. The best way to learn about this stuff is just to roll up your sleeves and do it.
Yep.
So to your point, I mean, how do we bring in some tools to leverage the online experience? So it's I don't know, it's going to be interesting. I honestly think some bits will be better, some bits may not be as good. It's hard to say, but we do have an online Kanban simulation that we can do. So there's that, but the rest of it, who knows? We'll just kind of see. I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out, and interested to get feedback from people who've taken the PSK virtually, what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing some free sessions with folks for different parts of the exercises, to see if I can figure out how best to do that. I've been toying around with a couple of tools. Obviously, Zoom for the video conferencing. It seems to be the one that has I prefer Teams when I'm doing stuff, but it doesn't have breakout rooms. It doesn't have that kind of interactability. You could do it, but it would be a pain in the ass, so I'm not going to go there. So Zoom for that. Mural. Have you played with Mural yet?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, I've been getting mine because that seems to be the go-to kind of whiteboard collaborative space of choice lately. So yeah, I'm sure we'll do some of that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I don't know if people out there who've joined the call, if they have any suggestions in terms of what's working for them and what's not working for them.
Yep. So I'm being shouted at for having an echo while you're talking. I do have headphones now, and I've plugged them in, but it's not outputting the audio to the headphones. So I'm just switching that over. I don't even know how to do that. It's supposed to just do that when you plug in your headphones. Nope, I think they just don't work. I will have to mute you while you're mute myself while you're talking is what I need to do. So I've been playing with a tool. You know that I'm into board games a little bit, and there's an online tool called Tabletopia, which is basically it's a board game simulator. So it doesn't do anything clever apart from have the pieces on the table, and has tools for flipping cards and drawing cards from a deck and rolling dice and that kind of thing. And I was thinking about I've been chopping up the V2 of the Get Kanban game to load into this tool and see if it's usable as a tool to still use the Get Kanban game. I haven't seen another online version of that tool.
That's why you're in luck. There's I thought I shared this link with you, but we have, it's not exactly Get Kanban, but it is a Kanban simulation. It's called Twig. Twig stands for the Whip Game, and there's an online version of that that we will be using as part of the class. So in fact, I don't know if I should be saying this out loud or not, but I don't use Get Kanban in my PSKs anymore. I use this online simulation because I think in general, I think it's a little bit better learning experience for lots of reasons. So that'll be something that we'll get a chance to see. Probably we'll send out a link to the game beforehand, so people might get a chance to play around with it before the class. I'm not sure about that. We're kind of going back and forth whether that's a good idea or not.
I agree. I think it's having something a little bit different might be better. I'd like to hear about the simulator that you have. Maybe I can integrate that into what it is that we're doing. I'm just playing around with Tabletopia because I'm using it anyway to get my fix from board games. Scott just said get Kanban on Fortnite and shoot Carlos. I think a lot of the folks that are on the chat have played Get Kanban before, probably have copies of Get Kanban. Although somebody's put a little question mark going, what are they talking about? You don't know until you've played the game. It's a surprise that should not be spoiled for you. But it's part of that little story. I really like the Get Kanban game because of that story, and people when they're playing the game tend to interact very heavily with it, and they understand the rules a lot more quickly because it's a gamification. Have you seen there's a tool that's just come a board game from a group called Scrum Tail in Poland that has just come out. That is they've created a board game for a group of 8 people working together to, instead of building software, which you'll know we do in the PSF, which is a little bit fun because you sometimes teach classes with people who don't know software. In this tool, that you build a murder mystery. You build a novel.
I think I've heard something about that.
Yeah, I got a demo of it at one of the conferences that I went to, and it was really, really powerful. So that's Scrum Tail, which I really enjoyed interacting with, and it was good for that when you've got a big class of people who don't have any Scrum knowledge. Similar to Get Kanban, it's not really a software specific thing.
Right.
Cool. So yes, Darren, you got Tabletopia spelt correctly. If you Google for it, you'll find lots of stuff around that as well. So the class that we'll be teaching is on Monday, the 18th of May. It'll be, I think we're currently thinking it's going to be a two-day class, roughly the same timing as an in-person class. I guess in subsequent teaches we may change that, but I think for a one-off it's going to be like that. Daniel, it's going to be a bit of a difficult time zone for you.
I'll make it work.
You'll make it work.
What time are we starting?
So
as long as we finish with whiskey, I think we're okay.
As long as we finish, we can certainly finish with whiskey. You can drink whiskey, I'll drink rum. So it usually runs from 9 till 5. I don't know what's 9 a.m. in here in.
Well, you just had your daylight savings, right?
Yeah, we did. Although nobody noticed because we were all asleep.
Yeah, so I think that'll be what, 4 o'clock in the morning for me.
4 o'clock in the morning. That's pretty early. You maybe need a whiskey to start.
Maybe. As long as you guys don't, if you don't mind when you hear snoring during some of the exercises, I think we'll be okay. She should be fine.
I did work on a Scrum team in Sydney, Australia from Glasgow with a 12-hour time difference.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, that was not a lot of fun. It was a good demonstration of how remote work cannot work if you're in different time zones.
Yeah. Not least of which because you're dealing with Australians all day. So
Well, actually, I had 4 people on my team from Beijing as well. So
well, that's okay. We don't mind the Chinese. It's the Australians.
It's the Australians that have difficult accents. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we'll maybe wrap it up there. Was there any other questions that you had, Daniel?
I don't think so. I mean, if anybody has, anybody out there in TV land, if they have any thoughts in terms of what they'd like to see from the class, or some things that they'd like us to experiment with, or special topics they want us to cover, let us know. This is, like I said, this is kind of experimentation for all of us. So I think Martin and I are willing to learn along with the rest of you, and we want to make it as an effective process as all of you. So please just drop us a line. Just whatever ideas you've got, we'd love to hear them.
Cool. Yeah, we're planning on running the class. We'd like to get as many people. I don't know what are you thinking the limit's going to be? Maybe 12 or 13 people.
Probably
something like that for our first class, and just figure out how to push around facilitating that for us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks very much, Daniel, for making the time. I know you had to move something around to get with us at 5 o'clock. If anybody has any questions, they can message me or Daniel directly. It's on Twitter, everywhere, same as myself. And we'll figure out how to do the best for it. Oh, I would note that for the Kanban class, we do for this class, we do a discount for people that are unemployed, which might be a lot of people at the moment. We also do discounts for people that are self-funding the class as well. So if your company's paying, companies don't get a discount, just real people get discounts. Companies do not. I think that's kind of the best way to go with that. Very Scottish.
I agree.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and apologies for the audio issue. I'll try and figure it out for the next one of these that we do. Okay.
Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for the invitation, Martin. Great chatting.
No, great chatting to you as well, Daniel.